she seemed quite quiet, kept herself to herself. She's not specifically someone that I really warmed to. I try and kind of be friends with everybody, and naturally you're drawn to some people more than others, and yeah, she's just not someone that I kind of look to get to know, I suppose.
But you didn't know at the time, obviously. It's not like it's not like you were like, I don't warm to her because I think she's a malicious person. You didn't have those thoughts at the time, right?
No, I didn't have those thoughts at the time. Like, I didn't really know her from Adam, and like I say, everybody comes into nursing because they want to care and make a difference. So
you were working on the ward at that time when she carried out her final 2 murders.
Yeah, so I worked, I'm pretty sure I was on the night before, and then I came back in for a night shift, and the first one had gone in the day, and yeah, I was obviously walking onto the ward with another member of staff, and she quickly rushed over as soon as we got through the door to pull the other member of staff into the kitchen because she'd been on the night before looking after one of the triplets.
What was she pulling that staff member over for? What did she...
Well, she just wanted to inform her before she arrived onto the ward, I suppose. But yeah, I think for me, just like there's obviously a camera looking at people coming into the ward, so she was obviously watching. And I think for me, yeah, obviously as a nurse, if I was looking after that baby, I'd have wanted the politeness of being informed before it being in handover, but I probably would have just let the nurse just get herself together first, and then before the kind of ward meeting, just bring her in and then say this has happened in the day.
Were there any whispers amongst the nurses kind of going, Lucy Letby's always there, why was she on shift again?
Not initially. I think everybody's just a bit shocked and sad for the parents initially. They're the first point of thought, really. I don't think anyone thought about Lucy necessarily.
I think it was about a week later she was then removed from the unit. Tell me, what was the ward like at that point?
There was a couple of select people that were quite supportive of Lucy, and then other people that just, generally just wanted to know what was going on, really.
So would you say it changed the dynamics of the ward?
Yeah, I suppose to a degree, because you'd perhaps have a conversation with a few people on the ward, but then if certain people were on that day or at night, then you wouldn't necessarily mention Lucy because you don't want to get their backs up.
We talked about these 2 camps, some who thought she was innocent and some who weren't so sure. What camp did you fall in?
I suppose I didn't really have a proper opinion on her because it was only a short space of time, but then I kind of, in this situation, I'm more factual, that there is a lot of evidence, years of evidence that's been collated. How can they get it wrong?
The management at the time in the hospital have come under a great deal of criticism because the consultants are alleging that they tried to raise concerns about Lucy Letby over several months, and they allege that they weren't listened to. What do you think about when you hear that? You wonder how this person got through the net.
You can see how it's happened because you are, if you're going to accuse somebody of murder, you're opening up a can of worms and you're changing someone's life. And at the same time, we all come into nursing to be an advocate for patients and their families, and surely that should have been the forefront of people's minds.
It wasn't just a run of bad luck on the unit. There was a nurse who was deliberately going out of her way to kill babies on that unit. How do you feel now knowing that?
I mean, obviously my heart goes out to the families first and foremost, because their lives have been ripped apart and they're never really going to get the answers, I don't think, as to what's happened and why it's happened.